5 people you must avoid in old age. As we grow older, life becomes less about rushing to achieve and more about cherishing moments of peace, connection, and self-care. For seniors, especially those aged 65 and beyond, maintaining emotional health is vital. One of the most profound ways to protect your well-being is by discerning the types of people you allow into your life. Unfortunately, not everyone adds value to your golden years. Some may even detract from it. Here are 5 types of people you should avoid in old age, even if they are family members. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's a necessary act of self-love. 1. The manipulator. As we age, the value of peace and emotional balance becomes immeasurable. Yet manipulators, often hidden behind the guise of needing help or affection, can disrupt this tranquility. Their actions may not always appear harmful at first. In fact, they might seem to lean on you out of genuine need. They know how to appeal to your nurturing instincts, especially if you've spent your life being a pillar of support for others. However, over time, their reliance can evolve into something toxic, leaving you drained and emotionally depleted. Picture this: you're enjoying a quiet afternoon, sipping your coffee and reflecting on the beauty of a life well lived. Then the phone rings. It's a relative or friend who needs just one more favor. Perhaps it's a ride alone or an errand they could handle themselves. At first, you oblige, thinking it's a small sacrifice, but as these requests pile up, you begin to notice a pattern. They call only when they need something. Worse, they subtly imply that if you don't help, you're being selfish or neglectful. This is the hallmark of a manipulator, their ability to use guilt as a weapon, turning your kindness into an obligation. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. Manipulators often rely on your hesitation to confront them, knowing that you value harmony and don't want to hurt their feelings. But it's important to remember that saying no is not an act of cruelty, it's an act of self-preservation. Your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious commodities and deserve protection. Setting boundaries is the antidote to manipulation. When you begin to set clear limits on what you will and won't do, you reclaim control over your life. For example, if someone frequently asks for favors, consider responding with, "I'm sorry, but I'm unable to help this time." You don't need to explain or justify your decision. Your boundaries are valid simply because they protect your peace. Reflect on the nature of the relationship. Does this person enrich my life, or do they take more than they give? True relationships are built on mutual respect and care, not obligation. If someone's presence consistently leaves you feeling drained or resentful, it may be time to reevaluate their role in your life. As you navigate this stage of life, let go of the fear of disappointing others. Your kindness is a gift, not a resource to be exploited. By surrounding yourself with people who respect and value you, you create an environment where your golden years can truly shine. Saying no to a manipulator is saying yes to your own well-being, and that is a decision worth making every single time. 2. The self-absorbed narcissist. Life in our later years is meant to be a time of reflection, connection, and meaningful relationships. Yet, not all connections nourish the soul. Some people seem incapable of seeing beyond themselves, consumed by their own needs, desires, and achievements. These self-absorbed individuals, often described as narcissists, can drain the joy and mutual respect from any relationship, leaving you feeling invisible and undervalued. Imagine sitting down with a family member or friend to share a story from your past, a memory that still brings a smile to your face. As you begin to speak, they interrupt, steering the conversation toward their own experiences. You try again, hoping to share a meaningful moment, but once more, they shift the focus back to themselves. Over time, you start to notice a pattern. They dominate every conversation, turning what should be an exchange into a one-person performance. Narcissists are masters of this dynamic. They crave attention and validation, often at the expense of those around them. They may not do it maliciously. In fact, they might not even realize how their behavior affects others. But the result is the same. Their presence feels overwhelming, and your voice seems to disappear in their shadow. For seniors, this kind of relationship can be particularly painful. Having lived a life full of rich experiences, you deserve to share your stories, wisdom, and feelings with people who truly listen and care. However, A narcissist offers little room for this kind of connection. Instead, they prioritize their narrative, leaving you feeling as though your presence is merely a backdrop to their life. Recognizing this behavior is the first step to protecting your emotional well-being. Narcissists often use charm and charisma to draw people in, making it easy to overlook their self-centered tendencies at first. But over time, their inability to offer empathy or genuine support becomes clear. They may dismiss your achievements, minimize your struggles, or ignore your needs altogether, all while expecting you to celebrate and cater to theirs. The key to navigating relationships with self-absorbed individuals is setting boundaries. This doesn't mean cutting them out of your life entirely, although, in some cases, that may be necessary, but rather limiting their ability to dominate your time and energy. For instance, if a narcissist consistently redirects conversations, try gently steering them back. "I'd like to finish what I was saying." If they dismiss your feelings, calmly assert your perspective. "I hear what you're saying, but this moment is important to me." It's also crucial to remember that their behavior is not a reflection of your worth. Narcissists often lack the capacity to truly see others, but that doesn't diminish the value of what you bring to the table. Surround yourself with people who uplift and celebrate you, friends, family, or community members who are genuinely interested in your thoughts and experiences. These are the relationships that will nourish your soul and make your golden years truly golden. Letting go of the need to please a narcissist can be liberating. It allows you to focus on relationships that matter, where respect, empathy, and mutual care are at the heart of every interaction. Life is too precious, especially at this stage, to waste on one-sided connections. By prioritizing those who see and value you for who you are, you create a circle of support that reflects the richness and beauty of your journey. In these moments of clarity, remember, your stories matter, your feelings matter, and you matter. Don't let anyone diminish that truth, not even the most self-absorbed person in your life. By valuing yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you, and that is the foundation of a life well lived. 3. The critic. In the later chapters of life, one of the most valuable treasures is the freedom to live authentically, embracing who you are and what you've accomplished. Yet critics, those who constantly find fault in others, can rob you of this freedom, sowing seeds of doubt and negativity. These individuals thrive on pointing out flaws, often under the guise of helpfulness. However, their words can wound deeply, eroding self-esteem and creating a sense of inadequacy. Critics come in many forms. It could be a friend who always seems to have a comment about your appearance, a family member who questions your decisions, or even a neighbor who can't resist pointing out what you could do better. Their criticisms may seem small in isolation, a remark about your choice of clothes, a comment on how you spend your time, but over time, they accumulate, creating an environment of constant judgment. What makes their words particularly damaging is that they often reflect their own insecurities rather than any real fault of yours. Critics tend to project their frustrations and fears onto others, finding satisfaction in pointing out what's wrong as a way to avoid confronting their own imperfections. But knowing this doesn't always soften the sting. After a lifetime of hard work, love, and perseverance, no one deserves to feel like they're fallen short. It's important to recognize that you are not defined by the opinions of others. The critic's voice, no matter how persistent, is just that, a voice. It doesn't have to be the truth, and it certainly doesn't have to shape how you see yourself. After all, you've lived through triumphs and challenges, joys and losses, and those experiences have made you who you are. That is something no one can diminish. When dealing with critics, one of the most empowering steps you can take is to filter their words. Not every piece of feedback is worth your attention. Ask yourself, is this criticism constructive? Does it come from a place of care and respect? If the answer is no, let it go. Their negativity is not your burden to carry. For example, if someone constantly critiques your choices, whether it's how you spend your retirement or the hobbies you enjoy, you might respond with calm confidence. "I appreciate your concern, but I'm happy with how I'm living my life." This simple statement reaffirms your autonomy while subtly setting a boundary. Another powerful tool is to shift the focus of the conversation. Critics often thrive on negativity, so redirecting the dialogue to something positive can neutralize their impact. For instance, if a family member points out what they see as a mistake, you might counter with, "That's one perspective, but I'm proud of what I've accomplished." By steering the discussion toward your strengths, you remind both them and yourself of your worth. Surrounding yourself with supportive people is equally vital. Seek out relationships that celebrate your achievements and uplift your spirit. These are the connections that will remind you of your value and help drown out the voices of criticism. Whether it's a friend who shares your hobbies, a group at your local community center, or a trusted confidant, these positive influences are like sunlight breaking through clouds. They make everything brighter. Remember, critics have no power over you unless you give it to them. Their opinions are just that, opinions. They do not define your worth, your achievements, or your happiness. You've earned the right to live without the weight of their judgment, to embrace the life you've built with pride and joy. As you reflect on your journey, hold on to this truth: you are enough, you always have been. No critic, no matter how loud or persistent, can take that away from you. By letting go of their negativity and choosing to focus on the beauty of your own story, you free yourself to live with the confidence and peace you deserve. Life is too precious to spend it worrying about the opinions of others. Instead, cherish the moments that bring you joy and the people who truly see and appreciate you for who you are. 4. The irresponsible. In the golden years of life, when the weight of past responsibilities begins to ease, the last thing you need is to bear the burdens of those who refuse to carry their own. Irresponsible individuals, whether they are family members, friends, or acquaintances, have a way of pulling you into their chaos, leaving you emotionally and even financially drained. Their lack of accountability can become a relentless source of frustration, disrupting the peace and balance you've worked so hard to achieve. Picture this: a family member constantly finds themselves in trouble, whether it's financial woes, poor decisions, or personal conflicts. Time and again, they come to you for help, expecting you to bail them out or offer a solution. They promise change, assuring you that this is the last time, but the cycle repeats, leaving you exhausted and questioning whether your support is helping or enabling their behavior. Irresponsibility isn't just about neglecting duties, it's about shifting the consequences of one's actions onto others. These individuals often rely on your goodwill and generosity, knowing you have a kind heart. They may appeal to your sense of duty, especially if they are younger relatives or those you've cared for in the past. However, over time, their reliance can feel more like exploitation, leaving you carrying a load that isn't yours to bear. It's important to understand that while compassion and kindness are virtues, they must be balanced with self-respect and discernment. Helping someone who refuses to take responsibility for their actions doesn't just drain your energy, it also prevents them from learning and growing. Accountability is a skill that can only be developed when a person is allowed to face the consequences of their choices. By constantly stepping in to rescue them, you deny them the opportunity to mature and take charge of their own life. Setting boundaries with irresponsible individuals is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of love, both for yourself and for them. Begin by recognizing your limits and understanding that you are not obligated to solve problems that aren't yours. If someone consistently asks for financial help, for example, consider saying, "I'm sorry, but I'm not in a position to assist with this. Perhaps you can explore other options." This response not only protects your resources, but also encourages them to take ownership of their situation. It's equally important to resist the urge to feel guilty for saying no. Irresponsible people often use guilt as a tactic, suggesting that your refusal to help means you don't care. But the truth is, your care can manifest in other, healthier ways, offering advice, providing emotional support, or simply being present without taking on their burdens. Your role is not to fix their lives but to guide them toward finding their own solutions. As you navigate these relationships, remember to prioritize your own well-being. Your golden years are a time for joy, exploration, and self-care, not for carrying the weight of others' choices. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and appreciate the support you are able to offer. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on one-sided dependence. Reflect on the life you've lived and the lessons you've learned. You've faced challenges, made sacrifices, and overcome obstacles to arrive at this stage. Don't let the irresponsibility of others overshadow the peace you've earned. By setting clear limits and focusing on your own needs, you create a space where both you and those around you can thrive. Letting go of the need to rescue others is not selfish. It's a recognition of your worth and the value of your time. Embrace this truth: you are not responsible for fixing everything. By stepping back, you allow the irresponsible to step up, and in doing so, you reclaim your peace, your energy, and your joy. 5. The ungrateful. As we grow older, one of the greatest joys in life is giving, whether it's our time, our wisdom, or simply the love we've cultivated over decades. There's deep satisfaction in knowing that our efforts and sacrifices have made someone's life a little better. However, nothing stings quite like the cold silence of ingratitude. When your kindness goes unnoticed or, worse, is met with criticism, it can leave you feeling devalued, disheartened, and even questioning your own worth. Ungrateful people have a way of diminishing the joy of giving. Imagine spending hours preparing a holiday meal for your family, pouring your love into every dish, only to hear someone complain about the food or remark that it wasn't like it used to be. Or perhaps you've gone out of your way to help a friend, rearranging your day to accommodate their needs, only to be met with indifference, as if your effort was merely expected and not appreciated. What makes ingratitude so hurtful isn't just the lack of acknowledgement, it's the message it sends. It tells you that your time, energy, and care aren't valued. Over time, this lack of appreciation can weigh heavily on your heart, turning joyful moments of connection into painful reminders of being taken for granted. But here's an important truth: the ungratefulness of others is not a reflection of your worth. Their inability to recognize your efforts speaks to their own shortcomings, not to the value of what you offer. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see and cherish the love and generosity you bring into the world. Dealing with ungrateful individuals requires both self-awareness and courage. It starts with acknowledging your own feelings, allowing yourself to recognize the hurt and frustration without brushing it aside. It's okay to feel disappointed when someone fails to appreciate you. Those emotions are valid. However, what's even more important is how you choose to respond. One powerful step is to reevaluate the relationships where ingratitude is a recurring theme. Ask yourself, does this person add value to my life? Do they respect me and the things I do for them? If the answer is no, it might be time to set boundaries. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting them out of your life, but it does mean limiting how much of your time and energy you're willing to give. For example, if a family member consistently fails to appreciate your efforts, consider scaling back. Instead of going out of your way to accommodate their needs, focus on what brings you joy and fulfillment. If they question your change in behavior, you can calmly explain, "I realized I need to focus on things that make me happy. I hope you can understand." This isn't about punishing them, it's about protecting yourself. Another essential practice is to redirect your energy toward those who truly value you. Spend time with friends, neighbors, or community members who reciprocate your kindness with gratitude and warmth. These are the people who will uplift your spirit and remind you of the beauty of giving. Their appreciation will nourish your soul, making every act of kindness feel worthwhile. It's also helpful to reflect on why you give in the first place. Genuine generosity doesn't come from a need for recognition, it comes from a place of love and care. By focusing on the joy you feel in giving, rather than the response you receive, you can find peace even in the face of ingratitude. However, this doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or exploitation. Your kindness is a gift, not a right, and it should be treated as such. As you move forward, remember to celebrate your own efforts. Take a moment to recognize the love, care, and thoughtfulness you put into everything you do, whether others acknowledge it or not. These acts of kindness are a reflection of the strength and beauty within you. By valuing yourself and your contributions, you set the standard for how others should treat you. Ingratitude may sting, but it doesn't define you. What defines you is the love you give, the lives you've touched, and the legacy of kindness you leave behind. By choosing to focus on those who appreciate you and by setting boundaries with those who don't, you reclaim your joy and ensure that your golden years are filled with the respect and appreciation you so richly deserve. protecting your peace, the gift you owe yourself. As we journey through the later years of life, our priorities shift. We seek peace, connection, and fulfillment, treasuring the moments and relationships that truly matter. Protecting your emotional well-being is not only important, it's essential. The people you surround yourself with can either elevate your spirit or weigh you down, and knowing who belongs in your life is an act of wisdom and self-respect. Avoiding toxic relationships, whether they are marked by manipulation, selfishness, criticism, irresponsibility, or ingratitude, is not an act of selfishness, it's an expression of self-love. By setting clear boundaries, you allow yourself the freedom to embrace joy and pursue the relationships that bring genuine warmth and reciprocity into your life. You've spent decades nurturing, supporting, and caring for others. It's time to offer that same care and love to yourself. Reflect on the life you've built and the lessons you've learned. You've weathered challenges, celebrated triumphs, and gathered a lifetime of wisdom. These experiences have shaped you into the remarkable person you are today. Don't let the negativity of others overshadow the beauty of your journey. Instead, choose to fill your remaining years with relationships that honor your worth and respect your boundaries. Your golden years are a gift, a time to cherish what matters most, whether it's the love of family, the company of friends, or the quiet moments of contentment. Let go of the need to fix or accommodate those who drain you. Embrace the people and experiences that uplift you. Life is too precious to waste on relationships that don't nourish your soul. Remember, your happiness is your responsibility, and your peace is your legacy. By choosing wisely whom to allow into your life, you create a sanctuary of love, respect, and fulfillment, a space where you can truly thrive and savor every moment of the beautiful journey that is yours to live. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.